So here I am with Walter White. Breaking Bad, Heisenberg, I don't know. But it's not Walter White, that person. It's Walter White, the virtuoso trumpeter. And when I say trumpeter, it's not just the trumpet, but it's anything that's brass. Anything that he can hold and manipulate to make sounds that are beyond. How old were you when you actually started?
Well, back then they were starting, the music programs in schools were starting kids in third grade. Now it's much later, if at all, and we're trying to work on that as a nation to get that back into the school at a young age. But even before that, you know, my brother was in the Boy Scouts and he had a bugle, and so I started playing bugle when they would go up to Interlaken for band camp. Right before the marching season, the football season would start at Ferndale High School or Royal Oak Downdale or wherever. They'd go up to Interlaken for a week to practice marching and practice that. So I would walk around tooting on this bugle. I was probably 4 or 5 when I got that bugle.
My goodness.
And so it was when I was 8 is when I started playing the sousaphone and quickly switched to cornet. So I started for real on cornet probably when I was like 8 or 9 in third grade.
Wow. You practice like crazy, I'm sure, the way that you play.
Yeah, but no one ever had to tell me to or force me to. It was just part of the culture and part of, you know, I really loved it. It was like my favorite toy, like Maynard always said, and no one had to...
Maynard Ferguson, who
I'm talking about,
right.
was his favorite toy. So no one ever had to force me to practice. It was just like the funnest thing I had to do, other than baseball. You know, I was like, I'd play baseball until it got so dark that you'd get hit in the head because you couldn't see where it was to catch
right.
it, you know, and then I'd go home and I'd play trumpet. So to me, it was just, I didn't think anything of it. It was just a fun thing to do. And it was great because it was integrated into the homes a lot more. I think back then there was less distractions. There was not the internet. There wasn't the computer, and it was... There was a piano in every house, you know, and almost like that kind of a thing. There were people still listen to records, and there's just so much information out there right now that it's hard to, you get overwhelmed by stuff.
We've known each other now for some 30 years, whatever. It's been a long time, and it's always such a wonderful experience for you to come into our studios to play on any of our projects, from United Airlines. What are some of the other things?
The latest thing was we did a Banana Republic, we did a Highlander commercial.
Right.
I just wrote some demos for Corona and Cricket Wireless. We've done just a ton of stuff.
You've been playing with some name orchestras, Maynard Ferguson and Wynton Marsalis. You played with the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra.
Playing with Maynard was great. I was on the band for a while, long enough to do a recording in London that my mom and dad were at, which was great.
We hear you playing right next to Maynard, and it's almost like a contest. It's who can reach the highest notes and who has more the technical savvy to be able to pull off a competition and be meaningful.
Yeah.
My question to you is, wouldn't that be called upstaging, where you're right next to him and he's going to be threatened by what you're able to do?
Yeah, for sure. And that's why Maynard was so special, because he was not threatened at all. The better you played, the more excited and happy he was. And he was so confident in his own persona and his ability. He was just trying to generate as much positive enthusiasm to generate to the audience. And if it came through a little friendly competition, that would be great. There's not many other band leaders that would have that, because a lot of times some of his players were right underneath him there and could occasionally, you know, overthrow his, you know, his... But, you know, he didn't even think about that. It was just, to him, it was fun. Maynard, like, he thrived on that. And, you know, the better you played, the more joy it would bring him. You know, he's almost like, you know, his children in the band, and it's like, you know, seeing you do.
So
well.
he's giving.
Yeah, he was 1,000% giving. I mean, it was wonderful, and it inspired you to play more. And then you think, oh, you know, yeah, I got him that time. Then the next time you go up, he'll just smoke you, you know, and like play stuff that, you know, only the gods can play. So,
in this age of electronic music or samples or synthesized music, how difficult might it be for someone like you to actually make a living doing what they do? You're playing an acoustic instrument, these trumpets and various sundry other brass. Has this curtailed you in what you're able to do in making a living? Or, of course, you're a virtuoso, so I would, from my mind, I would think, well, this guy's got to be on demand, right? And you must be.
It's an interesting story, that, because I was talking with Lou Soloff about this, who passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately. He was one of my great friends and legendary studio trumpet player. From Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the spinning wheel solo, the whole thing. But it was right when I got to New York in 1981 to go to Juilliard that there was still like a really, really strong studio scene, and it was before cell phones, and guys were still doing 3 or 4 record dates a day, and they'd just go from studio to studio, and at break time they'd all line up at the payphone and call radio registry to see where they were supposed to go next.
Wow.
You know, and I kind of caught the tail end of that, and that's when Bob James had me play on the Taxi TV show when I first got to New York.
Did you do that?
Yeah. Then George
That
Martin.
was you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I did
didn't
one
know
season.
that.
It was either me or Randy Brecker. He did one of the seasons.
Right, Mr. Walters?
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy our content, please comment, like, subscribe, whatever. I'd love to hear from you. Check out danyessian.com for all the latest content and information. Ciao for now.